What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us back again, and it is 2015. The first guest of 2015 is with us. It is Fox in the Box from YouTube.
Hello, everybody.
He sounds as excited as Ryan. Don't worry. We'll
Ryan
give him
is
some
always
Red Bull.
excited.
We're going to get down into tonight. We're going to try to entertain you and just have a bit of fun this evening, talking about what's going on. As you can see, since you were last with us, we have a brand new layout on the website. It's looking very sexy. We do have a couple of issues which I'm going to bring up for people who've been coming in. There's a no comment feature on the website at the minute. I do apologise for that. And also, for some reason, our links in the post are not highlighting, so it's very unclear that there's a link. We are looking to fix that, so people who have seen the issue and have reported it, thank you, and obviously bear with us. It does take me quite a while. I am new to all the website stuff and I'm trying my hardest, so leave me alone. So what we're going to do is we're going to first off look at the guide to training, how training affects fitness and injury occurrence. I'm going to pass you over to Ryan because he slaved and bruised his fingers typing this post up, so over to you.
Oh yeah, it wasn't just me, it was Ben that also helped me out. We all put together, following a lot of suggestions on our Facebook group FMCentral, complaining about the amount of injuries that occur on FM. So we decided to look at training and how that affects, and we found that if training is set to high, there's a lot of injuries that occur over the season. But if we use the recommended training that we have on, which we've linked with Cleon, who's a excellent suggestion for any training where you have less match training and general training during the season, and concentrate on fitness and team cohesion during pre-season, there was less injuries. But you've got to take into account here that we've used Chelsea as the example because they were in every competition. But when you're down in the lower leagues, which I'm sure you're crew at the moment, aren't you, Fox?
I am indeed.
And I'm Hereford on my journeyman save. If you're using high training during pre-season, I've noticed at the moment that I'm getting a lot of injuries. But I'm going to put that down to they're not used to having high training at all, due to them not training as much and their fitness levels not being at the standard that you would expect Chelsea players to be at, because they're training every day and they're paid vast amounts of money to have that amount of fitness. When you're down in the likes of Crewe and Hereford and they're not getting paid that much, their fitness isn't going to be that much. But this post just answers a lot of the questions, and it gives us something basic rather than having an argument on the FM group saying, oh, training doesn't affect anything, which we saw a lot before. We can just say, me and Ben did this proves everything. But it's also taken into account the lower leagues as well, which we may do. I don't know if Paul would want us to do that. If we could have a look, maybe set up a save in a lower league and see how the injuries are affected, and then we can put that in as well. So it's a very interesting post, and we're trying to get it out there for Fansite Friday on Facebook. I don't know if we've been successful. Do you know yet, Paul?
No, they're still on the winter holidays.
They're still on their winter holidays. Well, that's nice of them.
What I would say is, as Ryan just said there, I don't know if you knew this, Fox, but as Ryan said, the top players get paid to have fitness.
Well, they should have fitness.
There's some money. You best be fit. That's definitely a new feature, Ryan. But yeah, it's an interesting post. I don't know what Fox's experience in the world of fitness and training is.
Well, I looked at a majority of the posts. It was quite enlightening. But I tend to approach it slightly different. I've never actually touched fitness in pre-season. I tend to train like composure or something different like that. However, going on to high, as Ryan mentioned, I think definitely has a bearing on injuries. I tend to stick on average, but doing more match training, and even throughout the season I do more match training, because at the end of the day I think you're preparing for a game, so if you want to win the game, then having to prepare for it is probably the best thing to do. But I did notice that, I don't know if Ryan noticed this in his post or if I've missed it or not, but I did notice that the pitch quality on a game day sometimes dictates how many injuries you get. I know you can get make 3 subs and get 3 injuries, which has always happened. However, poorer pitches, you do pick up more injuries.
Yeah, that is something that we couldn't really put into test with someone like Chelsea, which is why I may look at doing a save in someone in the lower league, maybe with Crewe, and we can see how.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a what quality is their pitch? Because I know Chelsea are going to have top quality pitch, and the Crew have an average pitch quality.
Crew in the first season, it was a very poor pitch. It was called very, very poor surface, and we picked up more injuries in the first season than we did in the second, when we had it relayed. Obviously, don't pay attention to it now. However, I did notice as we're coming to the close of the championship season that the pitch has deteriorated again. But so I will look to get that sorted again. But definitely, poorer pitches result in more injury. Definitely.
Something that we can put onto the post and show people that other things around the club can affect player injuries. And
I don't think it's something that anybody really takes a look at. I think they kind of overlook that side of it. When you go into a game, you don't look at what the weather's like. You don't look at what the pitch quality is like. You don't look at the capacity of the crowd. You don't look at what time you're even kicking off. You just go into the game.
No, it's a lot of things. A lot of things that we find on the Facebook that they're complaining about the basic things, but they don't think about the little things that can affect a big thing.
Yeah.
Football management is even Football Manager. You may be sitting there on your computer, just not really paying attention, but Football Manager is probably the most realistic management game out there. It's got everything on there. You've got to pay attention to the little details.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the smallest detail from, like Fox said, when you have all the match day situations, for example, the smallest thing, like when it's windy, you don't want to be playing your direct style or long ball game. Exactly. I know that's obviously it's more tactic based, but it's still the exact same thing. It's not going to affect injury, but well, it might do. You never know. The ball might hit you in the face. I don't know if I can just have a look through as I scroll down, Ryan. You can explain bit by bit. Just obviously you explain to them how to check the training balance. Why do they want to check that?
Well, that will be on the primary training post. The link on Facebook. I'm going mad this evening.
It's going well.
On FM, you'll see this pie chart which will show what you selected in the last 33 weeks, but that can go up to 52 weeks if you're in a save long enough or at a club long enough, where you'll see here that 55% of the training has been set to balance, 18% on fitness. If you keep checking this throughout the season, and you may find that you're conceding a load of goals, and in this 0% of the time has been set on defending, which shows they're not training their defensive work. So you may need to put on defending for a couple of weeks or a couple of months to improve the training of the players. So it's just something little to keep an eye on. As we said, little things that can make a big change in your save.
Well, we say the little things, and I know a lot of people who will listen to it, and no doubt Fox is sat there thinking, this is basic, everybody knows where the pie chart is. You will not believe the amount of people who post in the Facebook group or tweet us. They ask what we assume is the most simple of questions, but to them, they haven't never experienced or never done that part of the game, or they may be new to Football Manager. So it is good to explain the basics of the little thing like the pie chart, just to showing you how you're balancing your training. It all helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean we've explained throughout the post. I mean, we can see here this is the FM, what we recommended as proper training. You can see there that the overall workload of the players' training is set to medium, with it on general low, which is the overall players' training together. But when you go on to I don't know if I'll put a picture up of the actual individual training, that's set to, every single player is set to train heavy. So whatever they're working on that mainly. So if you've got someone like John Terry, who's working on his quickness, which is quite ambitious for someone of that age, but that training is set to heavy. So
you need that after the weekend.
Yeah.
No, after Thursday. Are they? Anyone else? Just seriously comment it below. I have no idea what day it is for most of today.
But as you can see with another one of the images, the happiness of the players with this training, the majority of them, apart from 5 of them, which is probably the 5 that were injured, if I can remember rightly, there were 5 players that were injured. They're probably unhappy because they're not training. But the majority of the team were happy with the amount of training that they're doing, which obviously is going to affect the team cohesion. They're happy with their training, which links into the team cohesion. And then, as we can see here, we linked in about how if you set heavy training, where I set it to very heavy training, the overall workload was very heavy, and then you can see the counter effect of how players were unhappy. 8 players were happy. They're probably the youngsters that just wanted to get out there and run around like headless chickens. But the majority of the team is unhappy, which in turn is going to affect the team cohesion again, match results. Even though, if we can see in the training schedule, they managed to get to the Champions League final. But we've got to remember that this is Chelsea, a very good team. Whether you'd be able to do that if you had a mid-table Premier League side, whether they would be happy and get to a final of competitions, we'd have to try and find that out. But
I don't know if what about yourself, Fox? I mean, when you have your training, do you find a lot of players are happy? Do you get many unhappy?
I was just looking at what mine was on the crew one right now, actually, funnily enough. I've currently got in the crew, I've got 27 happy, 7 content, and 0 unhappy. However, looking through the ones that are content are just to do with extra training and a couple that are injured. But, I mean, I kind of nailed it on... I've nailed it on the crew one this year, but that's probably the first time I've ever nailed it. I've never really looked at it before. I just go with what the assistant says. But obviously, the whole crew thing, I've had to go with a whole different look at it, to be honest. And I have realised the effect that you training properly can actually have, especially on the younger age groups. I know Ryan just touched on about having the individuals heavy. A tip for young players under the age of like 22, where they've still got a lot of growth, from the ages of 17 to 22, 15 to 22, definitely train your players position specific. So, for instance, if you want him as an advanced forward, train him for those years as an advanced forward, so it's covering all those stats rather than focusing on one. And then when he's past the age of like that major growth period, then focusing on hone on 1 or 2 stats. I've definitely learned from playing with that focusing on one area as a kid is a bad thing. Focus on all the areas.
See, I taught myself differently, which it actually, I used to kind of do it similar, but in Football Manager 2013, I had a save with Derby County. I think it was 2013 when Will Hughes was a young 16-year-old, and I trained him on individual training on only passing.
Yeah.
And I did that for 5 seasons. He was at the club, and all he did was trained on passing as well as with the team. And when I stopped the save, he had 20 for passing as a stat, and nearly every other stat had rocketed up. And this guy was like in England international. He was just an absolute wizard as just a central figure of the team. But maybe obviously some of that will be due to his natural progression that's expected.
Mentals, I believe, mentals are mainly affected by tutoring and age, where technicals are affected more about training along with physicals. So I'm pretty sure that with age, most players, if not all, will improve somewhat, whether it's 1 stat or 20 stats. They'll improve as they age and get game time. However, technically, it's more game time and training. But tutoring plays a big part as well in any course of training. And people definitely, if they listen to this now and they don't know a lot about tutoring, definitely go and research. I'm sure there's some great posts out there. Tutoring can play a big part in training as well.
It's all about picking the player who matches what you want. Like you said about an advanced forward, if you have a striker who's a natural advanced forward, you want him to tutor the youngster.
Yeah.
I mean,
tutoring is a big part of the training, and I think it falls under the training banner as well, if I'm honest, because it affects their stats. So I guess that's part of the training. So it's like tutoring slightly different to like kind of talking to your players, like telling them, "Oh, that was a good game." It's slightly different to that, because you want some sort of stat passed down or some sort of preferred move passed down or whatever. So yeah, people definitely go and search how tutoring works. I mean, it's a long topic to talk about, to be honest. But it has positive effects when done properly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've brought in players to the club in the past just to tutor.
I've done that before as well, yeah.
Yeah, all the players. I have no intention of playing them, but I want them to come in and tutor a youngster, and it does work really well.
Yeah, definitely. I've given a 6-month contract to somebody that's a model professional, just for getting them in for that last part of the season to pass on that trait or that personality style.
Yeah.
to the player and then letting him move on. It's part of the game, I guess. And though we want it to be real life, as close to possible as we can, it is a game still, and you can kind of, I don't know, maneuver yourself around things such like that and make your younger players better to no detriment of the team. Because obviously, you know, it's not going to have a negative effect. The player, as long as he's down as the right squad status, he isn't going to moan. Obviously, bringing him in as a key player and not playing him might cause you a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I think that would cause a couple of upset. Especially on FM15, you don't play one player and about 10 people are pissed off.
The alternate, that was a great post on. We're kind of going off the training thing here, if that's all right. We're heading somewhere else. But I saw a great Twitter post the other day. I can't remember who it was. I think it was FM Savage. It was about something to do with all these players having a go at him over one thing, and it turned out, after a bit of a discussion, it turned out to be more of a glitch in the game, where he had promised somebody that they'd go if he accepted a bid off a particular team, and the bid never came in, and all the players were moaning that didn't let him go. So I think it was more of a glitch in the game, to be honest. But yeah, you do get this year, if you don't do something, they get on your back. But that's kind of, it's relative to real life, and I think it's a tricky induction to the game. It makes the game like a little bit more edgy, because you've got to be more careful. I think breaking promises this year is a big thing. Like
yes,
trying to move clubs, you like constant question. Trying to move clubs is like you've broken their promises in the past. You get it all the time.
I've been finding that, and it's one of the silly promises like, oh, we noticed that your media handling is mediocre at best. I couldn't give a monkeys. I don't want to talk to the media. They make up shit.
Do you have it on send assistant then?
No, I just go on holiday until the next game, and I obviously miss the.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, lazy.
I'm gonna lay into you now.
I
Right.
send assistant to everything, and I've noticed that trying to change jobs, they say your media handling is terrible. That's what I don't go. I've never been to one, so why would it be terrible? So I think that's slightly another thing in the game as well. But I can't believe you, holiday.
Now, I attend 99% of interviews normally, apart from the Careers Wales on FM14, which are live streamed because it seemed to be bad luck. But I always attend interviews, and I never, ever, ever click that holiday button. Someone posted on the Facebook group yesterday saying he wanted to holiday for 10 days and there was a glitch. Fucking glitch. He pressed the wrong button. Saying there was a glitch and it just didn't stop holiday, and he ended up losing 4 or 5 league games. He didn't want to basically press continue whilst the international break was on. Why, Ryan, why do you holiday when you could be using that time to search for players or to be communicating with your players and be basically doing some sort of interaction? Go on, explain your reasons.
Well, sometimes it's because I'm not just playing FM at the same time. I'm concentrating on playing the game, and then I'm like, oh, I'm doing university work. I'll do that game, go on holiday, let the laptop load and take forever to get to the next game. But other times I know I've got nothing else that I'm looking for, especially when I'm in the lower divisions and I've got all the players that I want. And the next game I've already planned ahead. I'm like a chess player. I plan 2 games ahead. There's my reasoning.
Not acceptable. Not acceptable. I had it all planned to lay into people who press that holiday button. That button should be removed. You buy Football Manager, you play Football Manager. Did you ever see a manager going, I'll go on holiday, I'll come back when the next game starts? It's not a realistic Football Manager sim, and I'm actually pointing at your picture on my laptop. Listen to me, Ryan. Right, I've just seen here Jake's listening. Thanks for listening, Jake. He's just said his players get pissed off when he's not starting them, even when they've just come back from injury. It's poor management, Jake. And Jake's also now just commented saying you're a disgrace, Ryan. People who are listening, top right hand corner you'll see your picture. Next to that there's some boxes. If you click on the boxes there'll be a Q&A button. If you click on that you can join in the chat and just post your questions or just drop a hello. But I can see the figures. I know people are listening, so please comment.
You can abuse me if need be.
Yeah, he presses the holiday button. The next thing, what we're going to talk about just quickly, Ryan, is your save, which now I've lost all interest in. Do you
I
want to
don't do it on that one actually.
Oh yeah, sure.
On that one I don't. My Man United one I do it on because I know
Yeah,
what I'm doing.
I wouldn't even play that save. Do you want to just explain to the lads your save? I will bring it up.
Yeah, the aim eventually, God knows when it's going to happen because I'm in 2021 at the moment. The aim is eventually to get to Man United management. I started out at Coventry, lasted around 3 or 4 months. They got taken over. The chairman wasn't happy with performances, so he decided to let me go. Then I went to Tamworth, lasted there for about 6 months, and decided to leave after getting sacked again. After that, I thought, nah, English management isn't enough for me. So I went around the world for a couple of years, managing in Portugal, Russia, Belgium, and I'm now back in England after being at Cheltenham for a couple of months. They said they wanted me to avoid relegation, which was kind of ambitious for them. They sacked me 1 month before the end of the season after failing to win one game, which they said they wanted me to win. And I'm now at Hereford, who are a title challenging team, which I'm very proud to be at, and I'm just coming towards the 2021-2022 season.
Now,
So hopefully I can do well.
now, Fox, we've got to discuss this. I normally I'm a one team save person. I will play as a specific team. If that goes tits up, I will start something new. Ryan is having literally the worst possible save for in terms of
Getting sacked.
in terms of progression, but he's sticking with it. So fair play to him. I mean, see on the screen where it says the journey. All of this below are links to parts of the story, so that kind of tells you how long this post is.
Yeah. I didn't also mention that I'm also New Zealand manager,
Yes.
which
So
has
for
given me a lot
example,
of experience.
Peter, if I click New Zealand update, it automatically drops us down the post 300 miles to the New Zealand part. When you manage in Football Manager, Mr. Fox, if you get sick or just have had enough, what do you do? Do you move to another club or do you start a new save?
It depends what I guess I started with in the first place. Like I have my what's it called, unemployment challenge, which I've kind of halted for the moment until I start live streaming. That's going to go into that. But that started with I can't remember, Home United, and I changed several times on my way up to the Championship now with Sheffield United. But on the way, I stopped off in Poland and China and South Korea and all kinds of teams like that, and everywhere really. So that one I do change. However, I guess the only other save I'm really running with now is kind of the crew one, and that one, if I got sacked, would kind of probably end and I'd start a new series on something else. So it depends what the save is. I haven't got an offline save that I kind of do just in my own time. I've got a couple that I have a play with and test things out on, but they are literally testing things like how the effect of team talks, what effect they have during the game and stuff like that. So the results are all over the shop, to be honest, and that's because I'm just trying things out to see if I can work out the game and become better at it, I guess.
Yeah.
So then I can take that knowledge into my crew save as I'm going to need it. But I haven't really got one. It depends on the save, really. So sometimes yes, sometimes no, really. But I haven't played a save ever where I've been sacked from one and just carried on and moved around. I normally end up moving before I get sacked because I don't want that shame.
Don't worry, Ryan's used to it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look down. Cheers, listening, lads. There's a few people posting. Jake said, are we going to mention his save? As you can see, I've got open in the background. Jake and the Tyneside is definitely worth having a look. As people start to realise now, we have some stories on the website. Some of them really good reads. Alex is on. Cheers, listening. It's good to see that Alex has taken time out of his day to listen. Obviously in America, it's middle of the day there. He said that we're not mentioning his save. Alex is obviously, as many people know, I'm not sure how much Fox in the Box's FM community knowledge expanded before he became on YouTube, but Alex is world famous for FM 2014. He managed Standard Liège, and he did 30 or 40 seasons, and he had his story in footballmanagerstory.com, I think it is. Awesome save. He won everything, and he just absolute legend. And he's now doing it again. So he's just showing off. But obviously a great guy, former admin on FMCentral. He's obviously stepped down now due to all of his other real life commitments. How dare he? But still a good friend, so it's good that he's still hanging around like a bad smell. James is on, one of the hosts on our weekly football show. Cheers for listening, James. Obviously one of the admins on the Football Manager WizKids. And Jake said, Hereford aren't even a club now, hacker. So basically you're cheating, Ryan.
From the anonymous group.
That poor lad can't win. He tries his hardest just get any job. And he gets a job of a club which has gone extinct. But do you want to just, I'll get on the right screen, do you want to just talk about your page a bit, Mr. Fox? Explain to the people who are listening live tonight what the management monopoly is?
Yeah, that's made an interesting start to its career. We're finally into the season now, after an absolute spanking from QPR. But we did have to play every player in a position they didn't play. So, for instance, Elliot Pond remained at left midfield. A holding midfielder, Peter Nemov, went up front. Quadrado, who was a good pickup, we got him in one of the pack choices. He went into centre midfield. Jeff Hurst went out to right midfield. Van der Sar. Go on.
I think I've got to ask, who are these people and why have you got them?
Oh, okay, right. So there's a varying things that can happen in the game as we roll. There's obviously choices of all different kinds of packs. I've gone from all the packs from FIFA 10 all the way to FIFA 15. There's choice of gold, silver, and bronze. So if I landed on a gold pack, for instance, I have a choice of whatever the label is on it. So the label might be a FIFA 15 pack, it might be a FIFA 12 pack. So whatever I get out of that option is what I take. So if I get 10 players in the pack, I pick one of them. If one of the players I pick is no longer a player or is retired and is a coach, I take him as a coach. If he's no longer in the game and I've took him, then it's my kind of bad luck, really. So I have to be careful. For instance, I pulled a pack, I think it was yesterday when the episode came out, and we had a choice of a few players in there, but one of them who I wanted, I didn't quite know if he was still a player in the game or if he had been loaded in my game. So I had to take the safe option and went for the player that I knew. Because obviously we need players right now because we only have like 7 players and we've already started the season. But yeah, it's interesting. So I don't know what other FM save in the entire YouTube community where you can have Jeff Hurst, Van der Sar playing alongside some dude called David Horst, Elliot Pond, and Sean Quadrado. So it's quite funny to be honest. But we did get a spanking on our opening game of the season. I think it was 6-3. Or 6-something anyway against QPR, but we played everybody in the wrong position, so that was again the board did that. So the board told us that we had to play everyone in the wrong position, and we did it. We have a game, which episode that comes out tomorrow, and we have our second game of the season. It's against Newcastle. And we had to play a formation where we had 2 centre halves, 1 holding midfielder, and everyone else up front. It wasn't pretty, but we did better.
You couldn't do worse.
We couldn't do worse. No, we did better. But it's entertaining, I must say. At the minute, very frustrating for me because we just keep pulling a lot of rubbish on the board and we can't seem to build a team. But I do believe I need the viewers' interaction tomorrow to find out where we go next in our steps into the Monopoly board. So yeah, they need to get on that tomorrow to help me out.
There you go, give it a listen. Like I say, it involves a Monopoly board, FIFA and Football Manager. So people who haven't checked it out need to check it out because it's just plain weird.
Really good. It gets really, really, really good views, and it gets really good feedback as well. And people say it's just so unique and so odd. In fact, I've had people asking, so if anyone is listening that wants to know this as well, how do I get hold of the board? If you want to tweet me or kind of screenshot the screen as I'm playing it, then you'll feel free to go and use the board because people have wanted to go and play it themselves just to see what they end up with. And obviously they'll progress a lot quicker than I am because I'm bringing it out every other day. But yeah, no, it's fun. It's good fun. And the board is very much as against you as it is for you. But it makes it rather interesting.
I'll sound like the perfect host now and go, but Mr. Fox, what is your Twitter address?
It's at Fox in the Box FM, so exactly the same as the YouTube and everything else.
There you go. Simple.
If they want the board, just tweet me and I'll send a JPEG of it and they can play with it themselves. All you got to do is load up Footwares and load up an online dice, and you're good to go.
And it only costs $10.99. No, I'm joking. He won't. He won't charge you. And if he does charge you, don't come and blame me. Martin's come on. Cheers, listen. That's 2 of the admins at the Football Manager WizKids listening, so I really appreciate that. After we've finished going live, you can plug the recorded version. Cheers, lads. Jake just said FIFA and FM. That shall be a good watch. There you go, Jake. You normally have nothing to do watch porn once you've listened to us, so just get on and give that a watch. I really appreciate people who are listening tonight. It's always nice to get some interaction. I'm on the next bit here. I'm not going to lie to you, Mr. Fox. I am on episode 16, so I am lagging behind. So don't get angry. But John, just explain to people why you've called it the Youth Crew and what the save is about.
Okay, the more recent episode, well, I don't know, my channel in general is going through a transitional period. I started this as kind of a bit of a laugh to start with, I guess. Didn't think it was going to end up as it has. I've gone through changing my thumbnails multiple times, trying to make it look more professional. So the more recent episodes, I think kind of past 16, more to the kind of 18 to 22, they're continually improving in terms of what I do. I've added in Foxy's Man on Fire and stuff like that. But the reason for picking Crew was they notoriously have a great academy through Dario Gradi and all those guys. They're in my safe. Dario Gradi's actually retired now, which was a bit of a kick in the teeth. But we replaced him. But where Crew was supposed to be this season was relegated ultimately, and they're not doing very well in real life. I think they beat Bristol City the other day. I've kind of become a bit of a fan, to be honest, and Bristol City are top, and Crew were bottom. So and the beauty of it as well is I've actually had interaction with 3 of the current Crew players and 2 of the players that I have on loan from Liverpool via Twitter, which is really, really, really cool. And they're actually there watching it as well. And Callum Saunders, who is currently propelling us through the Championship, possibly into the Premier League, is an avid watcher of the series.
That's awesome.
Which is so cool. Yeah, he tweets me and DMs me quite a few times. It's about the series in general and how well that they're doing. So that's pretty damn cool, to be honest. We've had retweets from Billy Waters and Jordan Lucy and other people like that are playing for the team, which is quite cool. But to Crew's kind of youth rankings, one of the most successful over time. People won't know many of the names. I mean, the ones that jump out to me are like Danny Murphy was one of the most successful ones. Obviously, right now you've got like Nick Powell and people like that. But that was the reason for doing it. Is they've always produced steady players, maybe not top quality Premier League players, but certainly very good Championship or lower Premier League players. But they always seem to get robbed of their boys. That's what happens. They get nicked at a young age. So it's kind of like, can I hang on to them, which we've managed to do, and can we continue to go? And as I said before many, many times, we're on the verge of a Championship title race running with 6 games to go after you'll see Sunday's episode when that comes out. There's 6 games to go. It is hella tight at the top with the same team that should have got relegated from League One. We could end up being a Premier League team in like 7 games' time. So that save just has taught me so much about the game. It has taught me so much. And it's definitely worth watching, not because of what I do in it, just because there's so many learning curves that I pick up that I try and pass on to you guys. It's not like I'm the be-all and end-all of Football Manager. I'm the best. I'm certainly not. Like I say, before this save, I was pretty damn average. I've learned a lot from this save in terms of what Ryan's talked about in his great post to do with training and match preparation, and the big one, which I had a massive discussion on my channel recently, was the interaction with players. Something I never considered before. But yeah, it's definitely my opinions.
I was just about to read the comments on the side, and James has jumped up there saying Brad Inman at Crew was a decent signing.
Yeah, he's been really good. Actually, if you're a big Brad Inman fan, definitely check out Sunday's episode against Wolves, because he comes up with the goods, shall we say.
There you go. He's still playing for Crew, which is good to hear. Just quickly on the side there, a couple of lads having a bit of a dig at me. Martin said that I pay him to listen. Not anymore, I don't. And Jake said, Martin, he threatens to sack me if he doesn't listen. So, Jake, as soon as you've just revealed that to the public, I'll accept your resignation. Where are we going to go now, Ryan? Anything you want to talk about, or do you want me to try to plug my new idea without giving it away?
Yeah, just don't say the team that you...
Don't say the team or the idea or anything about it without while still saying about it.
But try and test the...
Basically, guys, I'm going to have a post coming out on the website as well as on YouTube. The YouTube side of it's going to be very hit and miss. There's only going to be maybe 1 or 2 a week. It's not really following the save on YouTube. It's more parts of the save. It's really hard to describe without giving away, but I want it to be a surprise for people. Also, the post on the website, it's done in a really cheeky and hopefully funny manner, as well as being serious. A lot of people are going to be. I'm going to say it. I'm expecting some people to kind of abuse me from it and say that I come across as a bit of a wanker or a bit of a know-it-all or just cocky. But a lot of people who do know me are going to understand that it's a joke, and a lot of people will get it's a joke, parts of it, and just laugh. I'm actually releasing the YouTube video tonight, the start of it, and the post itself I'm going to release tomorrow, the start of it again. It's going to run over weeks, hopefully, if not months. And each part I'm just going to kind of take the post offline on the website for a couple hours, maybe once or twice a week, and just update it. If not more, I might end up coming out every night because there's not a lot of typing and it's really funny. Me and Ryan were laughing doing it earlier. I literally ripped the living piss out of Ryan in it. So stay tuned to hear how I take the piss out of Ryan, try to convince him to get a haircut, which he does need, so I'm not really being harsh. It's not my fault he looks homeless. I can just say that. Couple of people on the side. James said he's stalking Brad Inman since his early teens. He's hey up, pal. He's very talented. Never got a chance with us in Newcastle. Yeah, he's a good player. Crew on last year's FM. I do know that. Haven't played with him this year's. Martin's laughing. No way you're worth more than Pardew, Jake.
Yeah, because he asked for 3 million compensation for him to be sacked.
3 million compensation. Honestly, Fox, if you were more active on Facebook, you'd know how little Jake does. 3 million better be 3 million pieces of freaking tinsel.
He needs to learn how to do an index as well. I hope he's learning.
There you go. See, I was looking forward to tonight's show. When we have less content, we just have a kind of a chance just to lay back and just kind of have a bit of a laugh. I'm just going to quickly jump onto my Magdeburg playlist. I'm absolutely loving this at the minute. I just want to say that episode 2 of season 2 I'm going to bring out tomorrow. I've kind of forgot to release some of it. You know when you kind of get tied up in stuff, Mr. Fox, and you kind of forget to release something?
I used the schedule thing. I absolutely abused the schedule to death.
I was so bad. I was meant to release episode 2 days ago, then 1 day ago, then today, and now it's going to be tomorrow. So I do promise it's coming. Somebody asked me today, because I'm doing this new project, is that getting put on the back burner? No, I'm absolutely loving that save. I'm pushing hopefully for promotion this season, so obviously I want to keep it going. I like to write about my stories, and I'm not writing about the Magdeburg one, so I'm doing a second save so I can do that as well. The lads having a bit of a chat in our question and answers about Newcastle and Pardew and stuff. Obviously listen to our Monday Night Football show, obviously with James coming on as well. That's 2 Newcastle fans on Monday night to talk about that. Great news that useless manager's left. So happy with that. But any future plans which aren't continuing on your current saves, Mr. Fox?
How do you mean?
Do you have any new saves on the horizon?
Okay. Not at the moment. I have a few ideas in the pipeline. One involving a very large team in Europe who
Newcastle.
Not quite. A little bit larger than that.
Oh.
Could be anybody then, couldn't it, really?
Hartlepool.
No, Crawley. No, it wasn't really. It could be. It's a rather large team, and I'm gonna make up a storyline to go with it. Again, testing the youth intake. But this is dependent on when my crew one finishes. I think the crew one will finish either as being sacked or as being relegated. If we reach the promised land of the Premier League this season, which I don't actually know at this moment in time, I am as up to date as you guys are. In fact, I'm only an episode ahead, which you'll see on Sunday. Bar that, I haven't gone any further yet. But if we reach the promised land and then get relegated, I might hold that series there, and we've gone as far as we can. Depends. I don't know, or I might do it less often. But I do have one other idea. But at the minute, just rotating the Monopoly and the crew is all I'm looking at really. But coming up with fresh ideas, people say it's quite easy on FM, but it's not really. Trying to make up storylines is kind of easier, but trying to make it enjoyable and not different, but appealing or catchy is the difficult bit.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I had the issue. Obviously, FM Central's new to YouTube, so it's we I'm still bedding my feet into it. And I've found, just to kind of get a little footing in it, the Magdeburg save has actually got better attention than the other ones where I put a lot more time into them. The Magdeburg one, I'm literally, every episode is between 5 and 10 minutes long. It's me just updating. I mean, I recorded the last episode of season 2 a couple of days ago, and it's 5 minutes long. Literally, that's all it is. It's 5 minutes. And I think it's a good episode. I just fly through showing what's happened. I don't drag it out so people can they can watch it and then go off and do other things. It seems to be attracting a few more people, which is good.
I think shorter videos do, I think you've got a real good point there. And in terms of YouTube and content, I think people do genuinely stick around quicker. I found when I did the updates on my crew save, which are like literally, well, no, my unemployment challenge, which is literally like 5 to 8 minutes long, views would just fly up because people would watch it because it's not very long. I think you're looking at a smaller audience at the moment. Hopefully FM will grow, and these type of things that we're doing right now will hopefully help it grow as a community. But the longer videos, when you hit like 15, 20 minutes, I think people look at that and get bored straight away.
I normally watch the longer ones I put on the big telly, and one of the main reasons I do that is so I can still do stuff on my laptop while I'm watching it.
Yeah. So that's why I guess with like the crew one, it's like you looked at the last episode compared to the first, it is like a million miles different. And that's because I'm trying to find a formula which other YouTubers are doing at the same time in their own ways. We're trying to find a formula which keeps people engaged for that amount of time. Like 15 minutes is the ideal one. And I think, like I say, you've got a couple of things running on your central site, and I wouldn't be surprised if you find the most hits coming from those 5-minute videos. And I'm pretty sure that the community of watchers would back that up definitely.
Well, I think the upload I'm going
to got there as well, so it's pretty cool.
Well, the upload I'm going to do tonight, I think it's about 2.5 minutes long, so it's literally people can pop in and listen type thing.
Yeah.
But what I would say is a lot of people, like you said, it's easy to record a video. It's quite difficult. Some of the graphics, I don't think people understand. For example, the intros that I make, they take quite a lot of time to do, and a lot of people might not even mention them, or they might go, "Oh, the intro's alright," and you can't think, "Fuck me, I spend hours doing that."
Yeah, well, it's funny to say that because my intros are 10 seconds long, and it's just my thing going bang bang. There you go. However, if you look at my current upload, which is the youth intake, again the third one, epic video again. I love making it, but the intro for that is about 2 minutes long, and it, no joke, took me well in excess of 8 hours to tidy it all up and get it all lined up together. It's just kind of the previous 2 intakes with a few funny things along the way. But it's been taken in the first 10 hours it's got over 110 views, which is kind of massive on my site anyway, on my channel, bearing in mind how small the channel is.
I was going to say, we're still growing, lad, we're still growing.
Exactly, the whole community is still growing. But yeah, no, I didn't have that much appreciation for the amount of time people put into intros. You kind of don't watch them, do you? Kind of you click the video, oh bloody intro. It's like adverts, really, isn't it? But
it's true. I'm just saying, Ian Martin's just come on. He's just said he's lost the league on the last day of the season and beaten in the Champions League final today. I think skate on the bed, pal. I think your day's gone. It sounds like a day I don't want to be involved in. What about yourself, Ryan? Have you got any plans for another save, or are you going to just stick with this one and you've still got your Man United save, haven't you, on the side?
Yeah, that's going to be my... If I get fed up with the journeyman save, which I sometimes do when I get sacked, and have a little break from that, think where I can go next, go with Man United. They'll both just carry on, and they'll be my saves for FM15. Hopefully I can get to Man United. I may have to carry on. I may be on FM18, but I'm still carrying on with FM15, but who knows?
think your character in the game will be dead by the time you get to United. Good luck, Ryan. It's always but time's up. So thanks for coming on, Mr. Fox.
That's fine. No, it's my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
There we go. Cheers for listening, everybody who listened, and thank you to the lads who posted on the question and answer. It's always great that people interact. But me, myself, and Ryan will see you next week. Hopefully, Ben's internet will be working. He can come on as well. But thank you, everybody, for listening. Good night.